Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another plastics dialogue here at BASF at K 2025. We already talked about climate-friendly tiles today. We talked about insulation in refrigerators. We talked about the big picture. And now we're finally going to talk about shoes. I was really looking forward to that one. Not any shoe, but a really special shoe. And I'm really happy to have Tim Badenhagen from DESMA here with me and Florian Schulz from BASF. And Tim, the first question goes to you. I mentioned that you are from DESMA. This is called DETONATE, and it's a new Cupsole concept. So what is DESMA, what is DETONATE, and what is a Cupsole?
Well, basically three very good questions. Thank you very much for the introduction.
Thank you for the compliment.
DESMA is a mid-sized machine manufacturing company. So far it seems to be very, random. However, we specialize in machinery used in industrial footwear production. And this covers, basically the two major ways how shoes are manufactured today. First, cementing manufacturing, which consumes a lot of manual labor, in which we deliver automation solutions. And secondly, the direct injection business. Direct injection business, and this shoe is a perfect prototype of that, means that we directly combine the shoe's midsole and outsole with the shoe's upper without any manual application of glue, of primer, without manually setting the sole. So by using all the means of automation which are available in the market to speed things up, to increase quality, and to also pay a certain contribution to sustainability. DESMA is so a specialized machine manufacturing company with automation focus, and as shoe manufacturing, especially direct injection business, requires molds. The midsole, the outsole needs to have a certain shape, and this is represented by a mold which is then filled with the material coming from BASF. So we also manufacture our own molds. We do not only manufacture them for ourselves, but we love to manufacture them for our customers. So what we try to do is deliver the full scope that is needed in industrial production. Second question was, what is DETONATE?
Exactly.
DETONATE, the name was created by our designers. So the shoe's design, especially the midsole, and here we're talking about the white proportion of the shoe, as well as the outsole, we're talking about the light green part of the shoe, were designed in-house as part of our mold manufacturing competencies. And DETONATE basically describes what you can see on the bottom of this shoe. So the shoe's profile is not a standard one. It was just a designer without certain limitations doing what he wanted to do, and this is the outcome. So what you can basically see is, you can compare this to a detonation ground after something hit the ground, and the design here represents this in a bit. Then we had the designer also taking care of different textures on the outside. We had, honestly speaking, our managing director putting in his fingers as well. So here and there he feels to have a design side inside of him. So he also put his input in there. And that is DETONATE. So DETONATE is our internal name that made it out of the facilities and under which we are now, presenting this shoe concept. Third one was Cupsole.
Exactly.
Cupsole is a specific sole type. If you remember and think of shoes you can see in the market, and you think of athletic shoes or more casual shoes, and you think of big shoe brands like Adidas, Nike and the others, they have iconic shoe designs like a Stan Smith, like a superstar model, like an Air Force One or a Jordan, and they all are featured by basically the same type of outsole, which is a Cupsole. So you have a sole which is like a little basket, and in this basket the shoe's upper is glued in. And here's the problem: it is glued in. It is not direct injected in this. And this was the moment when we said, okay, let's change it, because the amount of shoes produced in this way, having a Cupsole pre-manufactured, bringing in the upper, cementing this together, is huge. And it's a huge amount of manual labor consumed, and it's a huge also ratio of excess due to, here and there some inhomogeneities. I'm using a friendly term for dimensions not being accurate. So this is what we automated by using direct injection. So Cupsole is something in which you put in the upper and which is then used as a casual shoe, sometimes a little bit athleisure shoe, but it's never an athletic shoe. Sometimes it can be a safety shoe. So if you're having a sportive and more modern safety shoe underneath your feet, then it can be a Cupsole concept too.
It's like office sneakers.
Yes,
Maybe.
office sneakers.
Everybody's having office sneakers.
Today, these are also wedding sneakers. So
I don't have anything
the range
else.
is huge.
Yeah. So thank you very much for the explanation of D, D, and C. Now we come to T, P, U, Florian. Designer without limitations. Is that where TPU comes in, or is there something else to it?
Yes, exactly. So the design is the first point. So when you have a look to the shoe, you will see that the design, when it comes out from the machine, is already done. So there's no post-treatment to the material needed. That is all up to this special process, but also up to the material. TPU has the unique property for this kind of material that we have a very nice adhesion to the surface texture, meaning the surface texture of the mold will exactly be the same as for the material. Also, we have not, Tim mentioned in the beginning, some defects which come up with some other materials. So that's why TPU comes in for the design. But TPU comes also in for the process, because the TPU, the material, is enabling that this process is possible. So the way how this process is done. Yeah.
And it's
certainly,
Go ahead.
certainly TPU comes in by the properties also. For example, by the scratch and abrasion resistance. For these kind of shoes, it's daily shoes. You wear them every day, quite long. So it's really important that they are wear resistant, and that's another important property of TPU.
How important is also the possibility to customize certain designs?
Yeah.
It is getting more and more important, to be honest. Customization can start invisible, so this shoe can be fully customized, but you will never figure out things. It can be totally visible. Basically, the range is unlimited, but what is important nowadays is that every brand comes with its own philosophy on how their shoes should feel at their consumers' feet.
Okay.
So it's a huge topic, and they have a specific look and feel, and the look is one thing, the feel is a different thing, and feeling is something, well, I have a different feeling than you, but the brands have theirs too. And in order to match this feel, and in order to represent what the brand stands for, TPU in this case offers a great range of opportunities. So we can play with the shoe's density. This one can be done with a density of 0.4 or 0.6 grams per square or cubic centimeter, which means that we have like 50%, almost 50% difference in weight when we talk about the sole's weight. The second thing is the hardness. If you feel like this, it can be totally stiff, like wood, like a brick. It can be also very, very soft. And Cupsoles do need to give some guidance to the feet because the upper is dipped into it. So a certain hardness is required, but this can be varied. We've done them in hardnesses close to a brick, but we also have done them in a very soft way so that the everyday use, and you mentioned that, Florian, is a comfortable way to wear a shoe. And I'm telling you this, I'm wearing this one for the first time today. Doing this in an exhibition is...
It's a risk. It's a risk.
Brave.
Yes.
It's a risk.
Yeah.
It can play out in the evening very well, or it can be a total devastation.
Oh, yes.
Up to today and up to now, I can tell you it works quite good. So it's a comfortable pair of shoes, and we have achieved this by using the characteristics of TPU. Hardness, density, and color. Okay, color is an easy thing. We've used two different colors in this concept. We can also go with one layer only, but by using one and the same material, just playing with the characteristics and the correct machine settings, we offer to customers and to consumers to have a huge range of different shoes. They might look the same, but they feel different. And there we are with look and feel.
This is this is really fascinating because you're actually able, and this is where you also come together, to translate how a shoe feels on my feet into technical values and spectra and things like that.
Yeah. And that's exactly where our customers, like the brands and the molding companies come in, or where DESMA come in with the experience, like saying, okay, that is our need in terms of performance, stiffness, hardness, touch and feel, and we need to think about what is the translation, as you said, to the material formulation. Yeah? So just latest, we run more trials on this concept, preparing for the K-show also, having more samples on hand, and Tim and his team came back and said, guys, we need it even softer. So we have played a lot of on the stiffer part, we played with the density and so on, but we already have 3 different hardness range available in the portfolio, which you can play with. But now we said, okay, let's push it even more. We go softer. So that's now what we transferred to our R&D team, and what we will launch quite soon, even softer grade for this technology. So that's the ambition we always follow. Yeah.
Let's tackle one related but still a different subject. I mean, sustainability is at the core of K. It's at the core of the plastics industry, also the footwear industry. By the way, what advantages does the process or the material have in terms of sustainability? You mentioned less manual work, things like that.
I guess I take this, yeah. Okay. So probably you saw around several different recycling technologies, and we cannot really say that one or the other material is not really recyclable, as we prove that we have technologies available for a lot of different materials. But of course, we always, when we talk about recycling, we say keep the loop as small as possible. So by switching from the standard materials for this application, rubber and EVA, to a TPU, which is a thermoplastic material, we enable mechanical recycling. So that's the smallest loop for recycling you can do. So that's where sustainability also comes into the story. Yeah.
How strong is the pull from your customers also?
Yeah, that's a good question. I might add one point to your explanation, because the process in which we are using the TPU itself offers another contribution to sustainability. If you remember your shoes at home and they are cemented or glued, to use a simpler term, there's always the risk that the shoe sole and the upper do lose their bonding, so that you have 2 parts.
Yeah.
Especially after a long time, heavy usage, this tendency is given. With direct injection, we are having a methodology or a process in which the upper and the sole are brought together, and it's never going to be the bonding between the 2 of them that is going to break. So whenever we do some tear tests, for example, it's the sole material or the upper breaking. It's never the bonding between the 2 of them. So the process itself is enabling a long-term use, although from a design point and from a brand's point, it's not always desired. Because they want us to buy new shoes. They want us to follow new designs. Yeah. However, the shoe is designed and manufactured to really cater sustainability needs. And then coming to our customers, our brands, and their pull towards sustainability. Yeah. If you asked me 3 years ago, I would have said it's the superior goal of today. At that time, it was a bit more hyped. Nowadays, sustainability is an essential feature. It is not the hype feature anymore.
Okay.
It's the, I expected feature. So it is not specifically asked for in every single conversation as every first topic, but it is something that if you don't have it, you have a problem. And combining here TPU, which Florian explained perfectly well due to its characteristics, the process itself, so this matches a combination that helps sustainability efforts to be validated and brought to the market. So yes, it's a major topic, but it is a little bit shifted from the hype note down to it's my essential feature of the day. And so, yes. I think without sustainability, no chance.
It's a very interesting point, and I think this kind of matches a number of industries that we are talking about here, away from the hype back to mandatory.
Yeah.
Without it.
Yeah, also our consumer behavior changed. So we learned a lot as private consumers over the last years, and we might look at differently at things and look at consumer goods in a different way. And with this in mind, so we expect it, we don't express it necessarily, but we expect it. And if we figure out that it's not delivered, well, I'm not telling you a new thing, but there's multiple different brands in the world, then you change.
Yeah, of course, that's easy. Let's spend some more minutes before we come to the close talking about next steps. Florian, you just mentioned that even before the show here, to get some more prototypes, you still did some tweaking in the hardness, in the softness. So what's next in the cooperation, and also what's next for you at DESMA with this concept?
Yeah, so actually we never stop. DESMA, BASF, that's a long-term history. We have close development on the PU topics, on the TPU topics. There you see the two teams of us. Actually, you see the points in Germany. So DESMA is just 1 hour by car away from us. So it's like, wouldn't say daily, but a weekly close collaboration with trials and so on. And also for this concept. So we, of course, try to finalize things to bring to those concepts. But still, we rethink and say, okay, what could be the next challenge to target? Yeah.
Yeah, this shoe is in our suitcases at the moment. It's not the only one, but it's the one we bring to the public. We bring with us to exhibitions. 2 weeks ago, now here. In 4 weeks, we will be, well, not in this hall, but in another hall here in Düsseldorf again. So this is something that we really promote at the moment. We promote this together. So this is why we also created a little tag attached to the shoe to really underline DESMA and BASF in this case is the corporation that brought this shoe to life. And by this, well, the goal is easy. Also, we need to sell machinery, so we need to find customers, brands jumping on this, being brave to touch most likely heritage concepts created by Cupsole shoes, because you're never going to touch a Stan Smith or a Nike Air Force One just like this, but you need to convince a whole organization. And if there's one thing they really believe in, then it's their iconic shoes. Yeah. So we are trying to change the iconic shoes, not the easy task, but we are also open to realize different and new concepts. So we also did not invent the wheel from scratch. So we did a design and this was possible. So other brands can do it even better because we are a machine company and not the design company. However, we are presenting this to the public. We are open to either equip customers with new machinery or, and this is the good thing about the process, existing customers with existing machinery do have the chance to adjust their equipment and to use the existing equipment. Also sustainability from a business point of view. However, it is possible. It's a small conversion of the existing equipment. It's not that you are changing the whole setup. And by this, we have multiple ranges, multiple brands, and multiple also fields of application which we can promote this to and which we are promoting this to. And by using existing machinery, well, we have an entry point to the market which is not connected to instantly buying a new machine.
And that would require no change in terms of material?
It's basically commercialized grades, mostly. As I said, we are developing also new materials, but it's grades we already use for some other application in the shoe area. We adjusted a bit for this technology, so we can just supply whenever it's needed. So I would say in terms of footwear, it's a quite fast changing environment, fast innovation cycles, always new things needed. And this technology fits quite well to it because it's innovative, it's changing completely, it's detonating, I would say, also the whole concept of Cupsole shoes. And we could basically, I don't know who's faster, we supply material if an order comes in, or you as a machine. Probably we are a little bit faster in supplying the material. Tim needs a little bit longer to do the new machine. But this is something the customers could start right away. Yeah?
Exactly.
I actually do have a couple of Superstars, a couple of Nike Air, and a couple of Stan Smith at home, and I would love to see them with TPU from BASF built on a machine from DESMA with that concept.
Yeah.
Can we do it?
We are ready.
Yes.
We are more than ready.
Okay. Fantastic. This was our plastic dialogue on shoes, finally, on a breakthrough shoe concept, Cupsole DETONATE, built by BASF and DESMA. Very interesting. We got one pair here up here for you, and we are all wearing it. Tim and Florian are going to stick around with us for some more minute. Thanks very much for your attention. We're going to be back in 40 minutes from now. Thank you.
Super.
BASF. We create chemistry.